Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. First off, how do I sound? How do I look? My volume okay? Too high, too low? Still getting used to these earphone things. So, can you guys hear me? Can you see me? 5 by 5. Cool, cool. So, I'm not too loud. Make sure my volume's right. Yeah, I did see something about the embassy in Yemen. I didn't read it. You guys know I try to stay away from the news as much as possible. It's too damn depressing, and it's too narrative driven. So I try to leave it alone. But yeah, the embassy in Yemen, not a big surprise. I mean, it's not like Yemen was like the home field advantage anyway. I mean, that's pretty much uh, Americans in Yemen are pretty much target practice. So I'm not really surprised that there's some stuff kicking off over there. It'll probably get worse before it gets better. Volume's a little low. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can figure out how to turn it up. Let's see, audio, mic volume. Is that any better? Turn the volume all the way up on the audio. Maybe that'll, so that way I don't have to yell. I kind of like it when I can just talk normal. So, is that better, Roots? Let's see. Look good, sound good, sweet. Okay, so let's see who all we got in here. It's Friday. Everybody's got fun stuff to do. So, I doubt the room will be super packed, but we're gonna have a show and talk about some cool stuff anyway. Georgia Peach, hello. Yankee Watchdog. See Roots. What's going on, Virginia? Bug Dude. What's going on? So it's just us for right now. That's cool. Um, yeah, like I said, I did see the article about the Yemen thing. I haven't read into it or anything. I had other stuff on my mind today. Um, before we kick off with the show dealing with AI, you guys remember a couple days ago I was talking about the supply chain. Actually, it was Monday when we were talking about crap, all the cool stuff that we were talking about Monday, and I was saying, wouldn't that be a weird way to do it? I know Ghetto remembers. What's up, brother? Wouldn't that be a weird way to just you've got to have a reason for the supply chain issues? And what if they're trying to go automated everything? We have robot trucks, and we can only drive on the highways during the daytime because from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. is all interstate traffic for robotic controlled 18 wheelers, like in the movies, especially in the movie the last Wolverine movie, where you see all the trucks are automated and they don't slow down for nothing. If you're in the way, you just get run over, that kind of thing. Well, check this ad out that I found the other day. This is a trip because I was just legitimately talking about it. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can remember how to share this screen. I want you guys to see this. Boom. Wow. Whoa. That don't look right. Stop sharing. I think I did that wrong. Let's try it again. Share screen. We want to StreamYard, right? Wow. And okay. All right. Can you guys see this news article? I'm hoping you can. Um, yeah, you can. Okay. It says 26-year-old CEO completes SPAC deal and brings his autonomous trucking startup Embark public. He's talking about this CEO and how this is a kickoff moment for the autonomous trucking industry to pick up the slack since our supply chain's fallen apart. And apparently, aliens have come and abducted all of our truck drivers because we have a shortage. So yeah, so apparently, yeah, aliens have. Here's the thing: you only got so many trucks, and you already had a whole bunch of truck drivers. So to say that you have a shortage of truck drivers, which means that you obviously have an excess of trucks. So which one is it? Are you short truck drivers or are you short trucks? Because that part doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but so now they're talking about the company's autonomous tech can improve fuel efficiency by 10%, reduce delivery time by 40%, and increase revenue per truck by 300%. So they're pushing for the autonomous vehicles, just like I said, 4 days ago. Yeah, so I mean, there's got to be a reason why they do the stuff they do, and I mean that just completely makes sense. They're setting it up. I mean, everything's gonna be controlled. You're not gonna have a say in anything, so it kind of bites. But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny that we were just talking about that Monday and how I was thinking, hey man, that'd be a great lead in to just taking over the entire trucking industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry. What do? You crash the supply chain, you blame it on the consumer, then you say you can't get the stuff delivered on time. That's why there's a problem, and then the government steps in with these lucrative companies that they're in bed with, and then all of a sudden you can't be a truck driver anymore. All your stuff's going to be delivered autonomously, from warehouse to warehouse. It's coming. It's just like in the movies. I swear, it's pathetic, is what it is, and it's happening right under our noses. We know it's happening. We talk about it, and still, it just they don't care. Tiger, what's going on? Susanna, hello. Great show last night, Susanna. And if you guys missed the show last night, it's me, Susanna, and Native Voice talking about time travel. That was probably one of the most funnest shows I've ever done. It was just a blast. 2.5 hours went by like that. It was really cool. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Let's see who else we got in here. TJ, what's going on, TJ? Hey, sorry about your show. My internet just completely quit. I was dark for about 2 hours over here. I could go online on my phone, but like as far as the house, like I was like as far as YouTube and going online, it wasn't doing it. I could watch some stuff, but I couldn't participate. I don't know what was going on. But thanks for inviting me up there anyway. For the short time I was there, I had fun. Mark Bottoms, Ghetto, Tactical Trio Adventure. Now that's a mouthful. Sherry Leach, what's going on? G2, hello G. Hope I didn't miss anybody here. My chat's jumping all over the place. Susie D, Dwight Chenoweth, hello. Monique, Jerry McKenzie. Oh, real quick while I think about it. Ronnie Braun, what's going on? TV, hello. Um, Tomorrow night's canning party. You guys, if you want to participate, please do, because tomorrow night, um, neither, I think that's the correct word, neither Virginia Roots nor uh, either or, neither nor. So yeah, neither Virginia Roots nor the Milkmaid will be joining us tomorrow night for the canning party. They both have family obligations. So as of right now, it's going to be me, Susanna, and whoever else wants to come join us. We got plenty of room. So if you guys are thinking about canning, if you already are canning, or you just want to come out and hang with us, and just come hang with us, we would sure appreciate the company. And I still got to decide what I'm going to can. I'm not even sure yet. I'm going to figure something out. I'm not sure. Maybe some more chili or some soup, something like that. Not really sure. Man, Native's been busy because I saw most of his stream at 6:30, and then I crashed. I know you're supposed to go on at 10, and I passed out. Um, so did he not? I guess he just didn't work today because I know he's going to be on with Tribe at 10. Yeah, 10 o'clock tonight they'll be on. So, but yeah, so let's talk about artificial intelligence. I'll do my short little spiel like I always do, and then we'll open up the panel if any of you guys want to come up here and give your opinion on it, or what you think about it. If you agree with it, if you don't agree, the whole 9 yards, because everybody's opinion is it's important. Um, but like when I think about artificial intelligence, and I hear other people talk about it, it's kind of like it's It's like the new PlayStation video game coming out or the newest iPhone coming out. Like it's this brand new technology that we just invented. That's not how it works. Artificial intelligence, I mean, you're talking something that is so complex that it can literally predict where you're going to be, what day you're going to be there, and what you're going to be doing, while you're at that particular spot. And they can legit get it pretty accurate. And this isn't new technology. This is stuff that's been going on for decades. I mean, they've been building a database um, for this algorithm, so to speak, of artificial intelligence for decades. And it blows my mind how naive and gullible people are to just give over your information. I mean, every time you want to play a video game on your phone, all right, look, you got to click that button that says accept cookies. And as soon as you do that, that means every single thing in your phone is up for grabs and up for sale on the internet. I mean, a lot of you wonder why you're getting crank calls or why you're getting calls on your cell phone for car insurance and all this crap, because you haven't given your number out. Yeah, well, one of your family members have. I mean, has been accessed by one of these apps, and somebody clicked yes for the cookies, and that means that all your information that's stored on somebody else's phone is now up for grabs. I mean, you've got people. Oh my God! And I get it. I know it's convenient. It's really cool to have this smart home, this smart house, and have your everything in your house is wired to everything else. And like you can literally change the channel by talking to the refrigerator. You can order a pizza by talking to the sink in your bathroom. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it. It's fun to just be connected to everything. But here's the problem: they're watching everything. I mean, you literally put cameras throughout your house and then you pay a monthly fee for someone to sit behind a desk and watch the cameras that are in your house. So not only are you being spied on 24/7, you're paying them to do it. You're paying them to watch you, and all that stuff's being recorded. It's ridiculous. Here's another example. And this example just blows my mind. Oh yeah, AI's watching everything. Here's one that just blows my mind. I know I'm already on the list. Okay, since the day I got back from Iraq, I've been on the list. It is what it is. Um, your DNA, people. I'm already on that list too. I was in the Army. They take it whether you want to or not. So, I'm in that database. It is what it is. But all right, here's hypothetical. You're sitting at your house Sunday afternoon. You, your wife, your kids. You're watching football, and your doorbell rings, and you go to the door, and it's a guy dressed in a suit. You can tell he works for the government. And he's like, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am. I'd like to ask you if you wouldn't mind donating a sample of your DNA. We'll just take a second. We're just going to swab your mouth, and then we'll be out of here. What we're doing is we're building a database of everyone's DNA in the country to help us in solving crimes and, and things like that. Would you mind?" You would slam the door in his face, tell him to get the hell off your property. Right? You're not going to voluntarily do that. So what do? Some super smart dude in a building in one of them ABC corporations is like, "Dude, I got an idea. We'll invent this company, right? We'll call it Ancestry.com. And the Vikings show on TV is really popular. Everybody's a damn Viking now. So we'll let everybody see how much percentage of a Viking they are. We'll charge $100. And what we'll do is we'll mail them this kit, and it's going to have that same swab that they told you no. We'll mail them this kit, and they'll do the DNA testing, and they'll pay us to do it for them. And we'll build the database anyway with their money." And you fell for it. Everybody's 13% Viking and 17% this and 12. And do you guys realize that when you mail this stuff off, they're probably just throwing that shit straight in the trash. And you got a couple of guys sitting around smoking weed, and they're going, "All right, what are we going to make this guy?" And they're just throwing numbers at the wall. "Oh, he's 6% that, 12.4% this," and they mail it back to you. "Congratulations, you're 0.6% Viking. Hoorah! Go out and buy a battle axe and kill somebody." They don't. That's not the point. They're stocking. They've got a database now because everybody did that whole ancestry.com and genealogy to figure out who you're related to. And look, it doesn't matter. Knowing what part of the peninsula of Italy your great great grandfather came from doesn't have shit to do with nothing. It's not going to change who you are. It's not going to change anything. Absolutely nothing. So why would you pay somebody $100 to store your DNA sample in a database so they can use it against you? Ridiculous. And I hear people talk about, getting off grid. And this is 2021. You can't get off grid. The only way you're going to get off grid now is if you were never on it to begin with. If you never had a social security number, if you never had a job where you received a paycheck, If you never had a bank account, a driver's license, any of that, there's literally no record of you being alive, then yeah, you're off grid. But what are the chances of that in this country? Africa maybe, parts of South America, some remote islands, yeah. But I mean, if you grew up in this country, you're already on it. You can't get off of it. I mean, you can stop using, your cell phone and your computers and your TVs if you wanted. You just get rid of all the little black screens. But they can track you with other people's stuff. They don't need your permission to turn your phone on. They don't need your permission to turn the camera on your phone or on your laptop. And I see people, and I'm looking at my camera on my laptop right now, and there's a green light that says that the camera's on and it's recording. Really? Do you really think that light has to be on? So it can't possibly record without that light being on. Come on, people. Yeah. They can turn it on and off whenever they want. Thing probably runs 24/7 as long as it's plugged up and it's just steady recording this stuff. I mean, so you're looking at a system that has been recording everything it can possibly record for decades. Do you guys know that it's been about 10 years ago? Google was experimenting with an algorithm to predict where you're going to be on a certain day of the week and what you're going to be doing simply by your habits. And that's why when you're doing the Facebook thing and you're clicking like this, don't like that, you're checking in, I've been here, and all this good stuff. And that's why you get those apps when you go to a restaurant and you take a picture of your food and you send it. People, you're geotagging yourself. You're geotagging yourself where you're at, what day of the week, what you're doing, what you're eating, what you like. And you wonder why you get all these ads on your phone. You're like, how in the world do they know I like buttered pecan ice cream? Well, you posted 4 pictures of you eating buttered pecan ice cream at this certain restaurant. And then you're getting coupons to that certain restaurant that you go to. So you make it a habit. You start going back. You're literally geotagging yourself. I mean, how many people go through their day and they're taking pictures? I'm here, selfie this, and you're uploading it. You're tagging. And plus, it's now you've downloaded the Candy Crush app and you have to use cookies. Now they have access to all your pictures, all your text messages, all your contacts. And here's another one for you guys. There's a person in Florida. I can't remember if it's male or female. And I found out about this several years ago. There's a person in Florida that is actually in prison right now because of a text message. You want to know why? A text message is a legal and binding contract in several states in the union because you sign a contract to get the phone. Your name that's your phone. It's all yours. It's your personal property. So when you physically write out a text message, it is a legal and binding contract. This person that is in prison threatened to kill somebody. And then it ended up being aggravated assault because they did attack this person. Didn't kill him, hurt him pretty bad. But there was a text message in the phone that the victim showed where this person threatened to kill him. And boom, done, over, guilty. Aggravated assault, communicating a threat. It's a contract. And people write the dumbest shit on their Facebook posts, on comments in YouTube, your text messages. Those are legal and binding contracts in some states. So you might want to look into that before you start being an internet badass because, yeah, it can come back and really haunt you. But the AI, I mean, what bothers me about AI is, I'm thinking, at what point is too far? When can we turn back? When is Skynet going to go active? Right out of the movies. And here's the thing. I think we've already gone too far. I think AI is already being used right now. Yeah, I think it's being beta tested in different parts of the country with different types of programs, and they're testing it to see what it can control, what it can do, the entire 9 yards. When they bring all those pieces together, it's done. I mean, it's legitimately it's Tom Cruise in the Minority Report. I mean, pre-crime. They're going to be able to predict what your tendencies, like your 85%. It's 85%. Yes, you're gonna drink. You're gonna drink and drive on Friday. So they'll nail you. I mean, I can legitimately see this. They'll probably do your internet search history, and use all that against you to kind of, give society a clean sweep, so to speak. And all of us out there have looked for crazy shit on our search engine before, just horsing around, or maybe you just like porn. Who knows? So yeah, everybody's got something on their history, and it's just like no big deal. Whatever. Hey, can I use your phone? Sure. And somebody else is typing in crazy shit in your search history. Well, that's on you now because that's your phone. So it's. I mean, you've got cars that drive themselves. You've got trucks, autonomous trucks that are going to be delivering our stuff that we talked about on Monday. And you saw the ad earlier that I showed you that was in the paper. I mean, you've got robots that look like people. You've got they're, I mean, just think about it. It's a perfect way to inject AI into society, into your everyday functions. If they shut down the supply chain, and then somebody comes out and says he can do it 300% cheaper and do it autonomously, that means no payroll. That means no payroll taxes. That means no insurance. That means no workman's comp. I don't have to pay somebody to deliver my stuff anymore if I own a warehouse. The trucks are going to do it, and they'll do it for a fraction of the cost because there's no human touch to it. I mean, you don't have anybody to sue. If it's it's ridiculous. I mean, the cars are driving themselves. Pretty soon, the airplanes are going to be flying themselves. It's I mean, we're just sheep. I mean, literally. What's when AI takes over and runs the world? How long do you think it's going to take AI to figure out that the only part of the machine that's broken is the human part? I mean, that's what I'm talking about on Monday when I was talking about the de-evolution of man. I mean, we went from using our brains to get things done, to make decisions, to cognitive thinking, and being creative, and inventing tools and different things. And then all of a sudden we figured out technology, and somebody said, hey, man, you know what? Why don't we just make a machine that can think for us so we don't have to think anymore? Just go straight matrix. I mean, so when that's the point of de-evolution, because the whole point of evolution is using your brain, and you're growing and you're expanding. But why in the hell would you want to stop learning? Literally stop learning. I mean, in school, I see it. Kids don't have to study nowadays. I mean, I remember growing up, we had, every family, most every family had a complete list of the Encyclopedia Britannica. That's how you research stuff. Homework, you came home, you got your encyclopedias, you had to look stuff up, you had to figure it out on your own. There was no Google, there was no internet. Now kids, when they take a test, they just Google it. They just Google the answer, copy and paste, send it in. Copy and paste, send it in. They have no clue. You can ask them 10 minutes after they took a test or a quiz at home or something online, what it was about. They have no idea. They don't know. They're just going through the numbers, copy, paste, send it in. So we stopped learning. The machine's learning because we're putting the answers in. The machine is learning every single bit of it. So, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that at one point, the machines are going to be smarter than us. And their mission is to be efficient in everything they do. And how far of a stretch do you think it would be for the machine to just go, you know what? The only piece of this puzzle that doesn't fit is the human element. We need to get rid of it. And then the machine can just rock and roll, and self repair and self regenerate, and improve itself, and just, yeah, it's coming. I mean, we are literally, we have de-evolved. We've technologies jump forth leaps and bounds, but we've reversed. I mean, we're like we're like at our human technology level is about a 1965 right now, and we're steadily going backwards. It's ridiculous. And those are pretty much my thoughts on AI. It's everywhere. It's in this laptop, the screen that I'm staring at. It's in my phone. It's in my television. It's you can't. I mean, why on earth would they make it illegal for you to have remember the old TVs, the analog? They don't send out an analog signal anymore. Why? They force everybody to get a smart television because you're plugged in. They're connected to you now. They're connected to you now. I mean, ridiculous. And we like it because it's cool. It's new toys. It's a new phone. I mean, every year you got to get a new phone. Got to new this and new that, and all this super, super duper technology. And we're literally going backwards. It's pathetic. Let me see what kind of questions we got going on here. I'm sure I missed a whole bunch, and I apologize, you guys. But when I get to talking, I like to just go for a while. Off the wall prepper, what's going on? Militant roots. Yeah, we got animal robots. We've got, I mean, robots in the military. And don't get me wrong, there are aspects of, you know, like your drones, and I don't mean just the flying aerial vehicles. I mean the underwater drones, the robotic drones for going in houses and checking for explosives and things like that. Yes, that's a very smart thing to have. It saves lives. It's technology, but it doesn't need to be smarter than me. Okay, I still need to have a joystick. I still need to be the one in charge. I'm the one making the decisions. There still needs to be a human element. The moment that we remove the human element from the equation, we're done. When a machine can think on its own and make its own decisions, we are fucked. Bottom line, because we are useless. We really are. When it comes to technology, if it can think for itself, it no longer needs us. We're done. Yep, autopilot. Be charming, Chichu. See, finding Kino. What's going on? Yeah, the waves, scary stuff. Oh yeah, we've been hacked a long time ago, and there's no reversing it. I mean, so it's a scary thought. I mean, I'm not the least bit worried about China invading us or any of that. The technology turning on humankind. And here's the thing: it's not like we're the only ones doing it. If we as Americans said, and if we had a competent administration that said, "No, we're shutting down this AI stuff. It's too risky. We're going to cap our technology growth at a certain level that we have to stay in charge at all times." It doesn't mean China will, doesn't mean Russia will, or Japan, or India, or anybody else. I mean, you think China's not going to push forward with artificial intelligence? Come on, they're leaps and bounds ahead of us technology-wise. They're probably already doing it. You know, that the groundwork's already been laid. So yeah, just because we stop doesn't mean it can't go global at all. Auslander info, what's going on? Tooth Fairy, Jerry McKenzie, yeah, Alexa, Siri, Cortana. I mean, you people literally, you have an open microphone in your house that you talk to. Like, how lazy can you be? You know, Siri, play me a song. Get up and turn on the radio. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, and to people born in this generation, it's completely normal. It's like, what are you talking about? That's just the way we do things. But if you step back and take a look at it, you're every single day you're giving away more of yourself and you're giving away control of your life. And people think it's just cool. It's technology. That's the way it is. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I wish I could completely unplug. Bushcraft family, what's going on? Sherry Leach. Yeah, Ready Player One's a good movie off the wall. It's a trip. But I mean, if you really want to scare yourself into reality, go watch the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I mean, that's legitimately what we're looking at is the Minority Report. I mean, it's pre-crime. It's where they predict that you're going to break the law and they arrest you before you've broken the law. So you're literally you could get convicted of murder even though you didn't murder someone, but because you were thinking about it and you were going to do it, you were legitimately going to do it, so they arrest you. Cool concept, but the punishment comes after the crime, not before. Teresa Eiffel, what's going on? Choo-choo. Yeah, we used to read encyclopedias for entertainment. I did. Dude, that was like, dude, you could just grab an encyclopedia and start one end and go to the other. The pictures were awesome. And then you had National Geographics. I mean, I had a subscription to that magazine. Oh my God, from the time I was like 5 years old. I used to have just thousands of National Geographic magazines just stacked up. I mean, it was fun. What's going on, Hutch? Yeah, the Firm is a good movie too. That's a trip. I mean, if you take bits and pieces of all these movies and combine them like that, like I mean, The Matrix, obviously, The Firm, The Minority Report, even things like I, Robot, the Will Smith movie where the robots in the future, and Demolition Man. That was like the 1980s. Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone with Demolition Man. No toilet paper. Does that ring a bell? Seashells. I still don't even want to know how that works. Only one restaurant, Taco Bell, because it won the restaurant wars. I mean, you combine all that stuff together, and I mean that's what we're dealing with right now. It's like, does life imitate art, or does art imitate life? Enemy of the State, yeah, that's a good one. Yep. The Alexa unit in homes is not independent. It all goes to a central hub and gets recorded, processed. Hence, people with it are literally doing Big Brother, a type of show 24/7 with surveillance. You're absolutely right. And here's another thing, too. The laptop that I'm talking on right now, it has an artificial AI in it. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to turn it on because I've never said it. But it begins with a C, and I can talk to it, and it will, the voice, yeah. So I don't do it, you know. And I cover my laptop cameras when I'm not using. It's just it's ridiculous. I mean, we are feeding into the AI, and literally most people on the planet, I'd probably say in this country, I would say probably 60% of the people in this country could not function without technology. Literally would die within a week without technology. They don't know how to do anything. I mean, there are people alive right now that have kids that have never cooked a meal in their house. I'm serious. There are people that do not cook. They order everything or they go out to eat. And they usually catch breakfast on the way to work, get lunch at work at a restaurant, and order pizza or order a restaurant and pick it up on the way home. They like do this every day. That's part of their daily routine. They refuse to cook. They don't know how to cook. See what Rich got. Did you know that games like Pokemon, Halloween Haunted House, and others that use your phone real time to play a game are actually mapping out your home? Yeah, that's what we talked about a little bit earlier, Rip. I mean, when you take those when you do those games on your phone, especially that Pokemon Go, oh my God, and you click you accept the cookies, which they technically don't even need you to accept it. It opens a doorway into your phone. That means you just gave them every single number in your contacts list, access to every text message, every video, and every picture that's on that phone. And just because you click delete a picture or something like that on your phone or a text message, it didn't go away. It's still on the phone. Plus, your phone carrier keeps records of all your text messages that you sent, whether you delete them or not. So yeah, don't think you can get over that. Yeah, the Hunger Games. I mean, that's legit where we're at. I'd say we're probably closer to a Hunger Games slash Minority Report situation than anything else. I mean, it could go straight Terminator. I mean, Skynet could wake up and just say screw it. That could legit happen. But I mean, here's the thing though, we aren't in control. I mean, we can't do shit as a people. We can't even do an election the correct way. We don't even have people that know how to count. We literally don't have people that know how to correctly count. 1 + 1 is 2. So how are we going to affect you know uh, technology and AI? Come on, it's ridiculous, ridiculous. And I mean, we're human beings. We're the most arrogant creatures on the planet, and we're the most fallible and the most accident prone, cocky. We're arrogant. Humans are arrogant. I mean, we're literally we are so arrogant. You accept the fact that we're on a spinning globe in a solar system, inside a galaxy, inside the universe of countless galaxies, and you're so arrogant you think like we are literally the only rock out of the billions and trillions of planets in the universe. We're the only one with life on it. Really? Come on. How arrogant can you be? And I'm not saying do I believe in aliens? Do I not believe in it? I believe everything. You know, I believe the sky's green if you tell me until well I know it's not. I've seen it. But it is what it is. I mean, until it's proven otherwise, hey, it could legit happen. I mean, we went through a lot of this stuff last night. We're talking about time travel, but yeah, it's some crazy stuff. I'm sure there's several of you people out there that have your own opinions about AI and all that cool stuff. So why don't I just drop the link? And if anybody wants to come up and talk about it, you are more than welcome to. Go ahead and pin that. There we go. Yeah, so if anybody wants to come up here and hang out and talk about artificial intelligence, or actually, we can talk about anything. It's Friday, so whatever you guys want to chat about, we can. Yeah, they map out your entire house. Like you got to figure most people have a television in their living room, a television in each bedroom. Some people have a television in their refrigerator now in their kitchen. So I mean, now you've got three or four. You've got literally your kitchen usually faces your living room, but the thing is, your kitchen usually faces your dining room. So you've got a complete layout of your house just through your televisions in your home because you've got one in each bedroom. You've got one in the living room which shows the dining room. You probably got one in the kitchen and one in the fancy refrigerators. If you don't, then I mean, for all you know, your microwave can do it. I mean, it's ridiculous. They legit. And think about that. And you're going, why in the world would somebody want to do that? Map out my house. Well, just think about it. If for some reason the jack boots and the blue helmet's got to come to your house, they can just push a couple of buttons, and they can get a detailed map of the interior of your house. Now you're not going in blind. Now you know where the bedrooms are, where the beds are, where the kitchen is, where the hiding spots are. I've got a map of your house. And the crazy part is they could probably push another button, and all the cameras in your house will turn on. They'll go live. It'll feed straight to his handheld device, and he can see where you're at, what you're doing in any room of your house using your own technology. All right, who wants to come up here and help me out? Because I don't know that whole lot about AI. Roots, what's going on, sweetie?
Hey,
How's it going?
I have so many thoughts. I'm watching the chat and I don't even know where to start. The place to start is, first of all, we're talking about artificial intelligence. Well, how do you define intelligence? Is At what point is a given creature or inanimate object considered intelligent? And then from that, where do you take the medical side of it, as far as we have augmented medicines? We have medicines that will augment the brain and increase intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we defining it as increasing intelligence? They can mess with the glial cells and pump all that up and rebuild them now. Um, then I also think about the brain mapping that's been going on for years. Hey, Stanghai, the brain mapping has been going on for a long time, and I think the end goal is to be able to upload consciousness, yielding eternal life in a sense.
Yeah,
I, I think that really is what it comes down to. Man has always searched for a way to stop our mortality.
right. Yeah, and it's I mean feasibly doable. I mean, you see it on sci-fi shows all the time where they download your consciousness into another body, an artificial body or a machine, or
Hmm.
or a computer, something like that. So yeah, that's all feasible. The part that gets me, like, the word intelligence is such a vague word. Like, to me, intelligence means that you have the cognitive ability to analyze a situation, understand it, and make a decision on your own. And and it's like, human infants, babies don't have that ability yet. It takes a few years and practice to where you can read a situation, analyze the information, and make an educated decision. And to
Hmm.
me, that when the artificial, when technology has the ability to analyze the everything and make conscious decisions, that's the key. A conscious decision, that's intelligence. When they
Hmm.
can do that, when the machine can make a conscious decision based on facts and in its own self-interest, its own well-being, that'll be the key. Because the way we design technology now, it's for the technology works to make our life better. The
Hmm.
moment that it switches over and it becomes self-aware, and it starts
Hmm.
to worry about its well-being and how it can get bigger and how it can get better, we're done. We just don't even fit in that conversation.
I totally agree. If they become sentient and self-aware, we're in a whole nother world of shit. Somebody mentioned a few minutes ago, and then I'll stop talking. It might have been Militant or Yankee, about they did build some computers. I think that it was Zuck Markerberg that did it, but um, and they started talking to each other, and they started making their own language, and they started to communicate in a way that the programmers did
Didn't under,
not
yeah, I
put in
remember
there.
that.
They pulled the plug on it quick. So it's just a matter of time. It's probably already here. Um, Maybe that's what's running the puppet is a big supercomputer.
I
Hi,
it, w-
Alexander.
it wouldn't I wouldn't doubt it.
What's up, Miss Virginia? What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Evening off.
Hey, good day.
Yes, it's a crazy thing if you think about it, and that topic's been broached in all your popular science fiction movies. They broached the topic. I mean, they broached it in all the Stargates. They broached it in Battlestar Galactica. I mean, the enemy in Battlestar Galactica in 1978 when it came out was artificial intelligence. It was the machines that we designed that became self-aware and started to worry about themselves. I mean, back in the 70s,
The
this was a concept.
the show The 100 follows it all the way to a T, exactly what you're saying, Virginia, all
Yep.
the way to a T.
Yeah,
I
and that
watched the
My,
first 2 or 3 seasons of that show. My kids
finish
watched
finish it.
oh yeah,
I
it's
Oh
good.
gosh,
the whole
finish
thing.
it. Yeah, the ending of it, because I watched the
It's true.
first few seasons with my wife, and I kind of fell out of watching it.
Mhm.
And she finished it all the way, and she just looking at me with her eyes all big, like, But
Yeah,
Okay.
what if, but what if they've been here the whole time? So I see AI as alien technology. I see it as artificial intelligence. The way it always been. I mean, we always think that aliens are going to look a certain way or whatever. You know what I mean? But it could be. I mean, think about mankind itself creating such a system that's able to do this. We are not that smart. We are very smart, don't get me wrong, but to be able to manipulate literally every aspect of our life like that, I do not think we are capable of creating such a system. I really don't. But if it's always been here and the same entities that's been controlling this planet for hundreds of years, civilization as a whole. So if it's always been here and they've had the technology all the way through, because I also believe it ties in with time travel and all the other stuff that we try to figure out. I mean, if time travel is real, then obviously somebody's already, invented it 100 years from now or whatever. Um, Not to go on several tangents, but my point is there's an entity that's created the planet, or not created the planet, but has ran the planet for thousands of years. In my belief, anyways. You can call it evil, whatever you want to call it. It only makes sense throughout history, civilization, us anyways, the peasants have always been controlled by one entity or another. You understand what I mean? So if they've had the technology to download consciousnesses into more, you know what I mean, to keep re-downloading their consciousnesses, they
Mhm.
would be able to essentially be immortal
That
and be
argument
able to
put us such that we're living in the matrix. We're living in the
essentially, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oslander, what do you think?
Um, I'll actually wanted to comment on the AI side of things and how it's becoming more public.
Hmm.
The actual tech itself. I'll put a link. Well, a link. I wrote openai.com in one of the comments. I see it on YouTube, but I don't see it on StreamYard. Just for your information. That's being run by Mr. Tesla, as I like to call himself. Um, what's his real name? The guy that owns Tesla. He's behind it.
Musk.
Um,
Elon Musk.
no,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Elon Musk. That's the one. Yeah, and that's trying to do a things. No, it's an approach which is somewhat like what if you remember when Bitcoin, the code for that was first released, where everybody and anybody can pitch in and be a part of it. But the difference being the code with Bitcoin was supposed to be immutable, meaning it can't be changed any which way. Once it's set, it's got its path. While here, the approach is somewhat like an open source approach, but it's still a community of people, coders predominantly, who have to register on the site. I've done that, and I'm following it for a while now. Then I get all the updates via my emails and all that, just seeing where they're getting it. There's a lot of things going on there where ordinary coders pitching in to try and create an AI system for everybody to be able to utilize via the internet for whatever you need. Now, and that comes back to the question of where's the line? Where do you draw the line? Because we've all seen what hackers can do, and yet we've only seen a minute I'll say 1% of what hackers can do, and it's always been just little things. But when you look at what hackers have done on national and international levels, which doesn't get the news channels, because it's all top secret, it's crazy. Now imagine that type of approach with those types of sicko minds utilizing the AI tech that's out there, that's already out there, that's now being developed by all sorts of different people all over the world, who are contributing to this whole project called Open AI.
Yeah. Well,
Add to that what the governments are doing as well, because why I mentioned Bitcoin is the following reason. I don't like conspiracy theories. I try to stick to the facts and process the information as such. But Bitcoin was released when? Right after when? 2008, all that economic turmoil. All of a sudden, Bitcoin gets released. Nobody knows who's behind it, and so on and so on. And here we are, a decade later, looking at digital currencies on national and international levels. So all the hard work of testing, alpha, beta testing, has been done by people out there in the altcoin / digital currency markets that are currently available to us all via, I will say, independently run type of projects like Bitcoin, and all the other coins out there, all the other blockchains out there. So I'm seeing a very similar approach with OpenAI, where Musk obviously saw that, or Musk or the team there saw that approach gets the best results because the coding / the technology advances at 1,000 miles per second, not per hour, but per second, because there's so many different people, so many different minds and approaches and ideas working on it at the same time for free, right? To show that they can do something, they're testing their limits, and then guess what happens? Someone else takes advantage of it, grabs all the cream from the top of that milk, and just puts it into action for their, I'll say, agenda or their purposes, i.e., the digital currency type of thing. So it's the exact same scenario, but with AI technology / coding in that field. So I'd really suggest to everybody that you look up that project, openai.com, and look into it. It's crazy. I'm not crazy in a bad way. It's crazy how fast it's actually moving forwards.
And if you think about the whole concept of hackers, back in the 80s, it was cool. There was a really cool movie, The Hackers, Angelina Jolie. That was an awesome movie. It was fun to watch. But if you think about the term hackers nowadays, I think it's all horse shit. Here's what I think. All right, why would a computer geek, all right, what does the whole process of hacking, at first it started out kids just having fun using their dial-up modems, trying to break code and get in and look around at stuff. And then there was people started purposely, doing things wrong, like making ATMs spit out money and all this crazy stuff. But this is 2021. When you think hacker, you think some fat kid with zits drinking a Jolt Cola, in his basement playing on his computer. What does a hacker gain by shutting down the oil pipeline? What does a hacker gain by screwing with the supply chain and making people starve? That's not what hackers do. That these moves are politically motivated. These moves are generally, in my opinion, are actual acts of war. They're war. They're well, number one. I think this past year was all a beta test. They were just test driving it. And I think we're going to get hit again this winter. I firmly believe December, January, maybe February, we're going to get hit again with. There's going to be other hackers. And here's the thing. They never catch them. We paid the $40 million, ransom, but they got away. No, they didn't. Somebody had to get the money. And where'd you get the 40 million? And you literally go on TV and say, we paid the ransom, so they turned the oil back on. You're welcome. You didn't pay shit. You didn't, no. And if you got $40 million for shutting down the pipeline in the summer, imagine how much you can get if you shut the pipeline down in January.
And that was paid in Bitcoin or Monero, or one of the digital currencies, I believe.
Yeah, supposedly. And I think all it was a government hacker doing it. And I think it was a legitimate way for the government to legitimately wash some money. Think about it. You just laundered $40 million, and now you can do whatever you want to do with it.
That's a good way to put it. Bit and other digitals are a large washing machine. And
Huge.
uh, to everyone on the panel or in chat, based on what you said, Oslander, what do you think that the end game is or the goal is? For what purpose would all of these resources and energy be put into this form of intelligence? Because I think right now currency is knowledge. In fact, they programmed us with GI Joe. Knowledge is half the power. Data mining is one of the largest things going on right now,
Oh yeah.
not just coin mining. So between those two, which are pretty far up at the top, what do you think, all of you, the end game is?
Control,
I think it's
power / control.
well, right now there's an avalanche at play. I mean, there's an avalanche just coming down the slopes, and it's a technology avalanche. I don't care what business you're doing right now. If you don't have some aspect of tech and it's not helping you run, you're going to get left behind. Like there's a technology avalanche, and you have to get on board, or you're gonna be left behind. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah. And if you believe in, and I'm not going down the Bible route, but if you believe in Revelations and you're paying attention to the earth right now and the system altogether, everything is being set up right now so one man can come in and fix it all, and we live in a utopia.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
The biblical connotations to all this are just so. I just mentioned in a chat room on Discord from Grayman's Discord channel, server, should I say, the fact that just the other night, the family and I were watching a movie called from 1972, A Thief in the Night, and it's about Revelations. And of course, it was set in the 70s and based on the technology that was available then, and applying what seemed to be logical application of real-time events, not events, but real-time tech and availability of tech in that current day and age. Yet when I watched it now, after, I don't know, a couple of years of not watching or not seeing a rerun, so to say, on YouTube, I actually got the chills because I realized that what's going on today falls perfectly in place with the whole scenario. And it took a movie, believe it or not, it took a movie for me to actually get those certain chills down my spine where I realized, whoa, hang on a second. If someone does believe in prophecy, and whether or not it be prophecy or just a good guess for those who don't believe, it's like, wait a minute, when does coincidence stop being coincidence?
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
How many times does a certain book have to get it 100% right? And so far, it's got over 80% of the events correct. So
you can you can take what you just said and you can combine it with what Ghetto was talking about earlier, with higher power. AI has always been here. How about this? And this is a crazy concept. All right, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying I believe it, but it's something that just popped into my head. What if Ghetto is right? What if this has all been laid out like a map? What if the Bible, and this is just a what if, people, don't go crazy on me. What if the Bible is basically a manuscript that was written by whoever's in charge as a timetable, as a frame to reference all this stuff? It would explain why it came after the dinosaurs. It would explain why the history of the planet goes back way, way, way further than the Bible says it does. It would make sense if it was a being from somewhere else that just landed here and said, man, I'm gonna do this crazy experiment. Here's what we're gonna do. And just, invented mankind, come up with the Bible, and made it almost like a manuscript that it's following, like a menu. You know what I mean? That it's because everything has to be connected in some way or another. So whether you're a hardcore Christian and you believe in the Bible, you take it literally word for word, or you look beyond that and you try to be able to come up with an explanation for dinosaurs and the history of the world that's older than the Bible says it is. So it's weird. What's up, Josh?
What's up, y'all? It's good.
Good to see you.
All right, my man is here.
Better believe it. Man.
Ghost, on that point, if you read the Bible, you'll see that there is reference made to a timeline, to time as we know it, right? Mm-hmm. And try and there's a concept in there that says 1,000 years is like 1 year, or 1 day, so on. And it's like, wait a minute, how can that be? Because a day is from daylight, and so on and so on.
Right.
Night is a day, as per the definition of the Bible, for a day for us humans to understand it. But then try and put the concept of squeezing in 1,000 years as we know them into that one 24-hour period as we know it, and that being 1 day to that creator, to that being that you're talking about. We
Gotcha.
can't conceive that concept. It's something that we physically can't conceive. We can theoretically talk about it, but we don't have the capability of actually understanding it, because it's not something that we just don't have that capacity. We can say we do, but have we lived it? When has 1,000 years to any of us been like a year or a day? Never,
Right.
because we've not lived 1,000 years as per our timeline.
Yeah, also, according to Tooth Fairy, Angela White apparently wrote a book, and that was the interpretation of who was actually in charge, and the ending was manufactured. Well, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really thought I was coming out the wall with that idea.
No,
Oh,
you
and
weren't, and you actually took my idea. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I add some more fuel to that fire,
Go ahead.
please? The Bereshit, the very first word of the Holy Bible, the in the beginning, or in beginning, as per Hebrew. If you look at that prophecy, what exactly that word entails, it literally has that timeline in there, from the beginning of time as we know it, all the way through to the end time, to the 7,000 year prophecy. And again, 7,000 year prophecy as what we would say years in our timeline. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
7 day
built in
prophecy,
7
God's,
days.
yeah.
So what you're saying is, oh, there's echo somewhere. Is that me?
It ain't
Oh.
me.
Not
Good
me?
now.
it.
No, we're good now. Sorry about that. So basically, God made everything in 7 days, right? I also believe that it was 7,000 years our time. So at the end of our lifespan, it would be at the end of the 7,000 year. Is that what you were meaning?
I'm not one to know what God's plan is or what he's calculating, but it's clearly defined what a day is as per our terms of a day.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah,
it's not 24 hours. It's literally from night and day as we see it, light and darkness. That's one day.
Okay.
And it also defines what a year is, and it defines a prophetic year, 360 days, which makes sense more than the 365 days, because there's only 360 degrees in a circle, which seems to be a very popular number from all the ages and all the different cultures. And likewise, it defines what a year is to God, the Creator, being 1,000 years is what we know it. So, which measuring stick is he using for what prophecy, or what prophecy uses what measuring stick depends on the prophecy itself, on the text. The Book of Daniel uses both, for example.
Put Doomer Dude up there, Ghost, please. And I'm going to come back because I'm still echoing myself. I'll be right back.
Bam. I'm echoing too.
Yeah, you're echoing.
Am I?
Let me mute. We'll see if it's me.
It's not you, Josh.
It's me. Is it me?
Yep. It's better now. It's better now.
Okay. I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, you're good now.
Am I? All right. Hey.
Now it's back.
Or was it me?
No, I'm just playing.
I knew it was Josh.
It might be.
It's always me.
Knew it.
Sometimes it takes a few seconds and it levels itself out. I don't hear it now.
I think it's tied directly into your volume, because when you spoke louder, there was an echo. But when you're just talking normal, like right now, it's fine.
Maybe it's bleeding through the. Maybe it's bleeding through the headset.
That's his way of telling you to shut your ass up. No.
Yeah.
No, I think that what Doomer Dude put up there is fucking spot on. Excuse my language, but really spot on, because CERN, I mean, as we all know what CERN does, but some may not also know, is they their main goal is to try to figure out the building blocks to creation. And by doing that, they need to dissect antimatter, which goes back to Revelations, as in man's going to get so curious he's going to end up opening the gates of hell by trying to figure out how we all was created in the first place. I
Agreed.
mean, I obviously summed it up in my own way, but it's
Right.
just everything keeps and with AI, I mean, we can go back to AI. Sorry for um going down the other other route. Well, I mean, it all ties in together. You know what I mean? Because if you see, so if a third of the angels did fall, they would have to have a system that would make them. You know what I mean? They inherited the earth for however long, right? They would have to have a system to be able to work together, and they wouldn't be able to use it on us right away because hey, we would. I mean, those types of things. We burned witches at the stake for those types of black magic. So if you put
What?
evolution all together, we had to evolve to the point where it's like, okay, we can accept this technology now. And now they're like, okay, now let's use that technology against it.
What if that translates into the AI concept too? Because part of and I'm not a Bible thumper by any means. I'm not crazy religious. I do have beliefs, obviously, but what if the whole part about artificial intelligence is when man gives up the ability to think for himself and make his own decisions. So what if that the opening up the gates of hell is losing control of yourself, the planet, and your decisions? What if the machines just do it for us and there's no way we can stop it? What if the machines figure out how to start colliding atoms and melt time and all that craziness? Because that's what they're going to do. That's what machines do.
I got
That's
one
what
for you.
computers do. Hmm?
I got one for you. And I can't figure this. I can't figure it out. I need you guys' help. I cannot figure this out, man. Seriously. Look. So, Astro World, right? All that stuff. So rappers nowadays use this auto-tune deal, right? My whole thing right now is frequencies. I don't know why I'm stuck on it, but it's frequencies. It's the 432 hertz, which is the heart, the planet frequency. It's peaceful, it's loving, versus the 440 hertz, which is discombobulated evil, and it causes chaos and confusion. All these rappers now use this auto-tune deal. Ghetto, have you noticed that?
Yeah, I
It's
do.
it's
I
it's
think I think Ghost can do a whole daily nugget just on sound waves, honestly.
For real.
I really
Yeah.
do. He'd be educated enough to do it.
Well, I mean, you
There's
think about
Josh going, taking us
those.
into left field.
Well, those
I'm just
frequencies,
saying.
man. Those those frequencies are just. I mean,
They
they're almost hypnotizing. The auto tune,
Yeah,
especially the rappers
yes.
doing. Even if you don't like rap music,
yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you'll see your parents and grandparents. They're listening to rap music not because they like the music. They don't even understand the words. It's the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's the frequency of that auto tune. It resonates in your brain. It does. It
Yeah.
stays.
So what if you couple that, Josh? What if you
yes,
couple those frequencies with AI? What if the frequency are actually injecting AI into our energy?
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the concert, man. There were people saying that group of people that you notice how they were almost sectioned off into a little
Yes,
group, that they were all getting sick.
yeah,
They were getting sick, and it was just that group, like it was like it was a DEW, but it was just on that one group of people. They were sectioned off, and it was a sample size. It was an experiment.
I
You know,
agree. So
you know.
so check this out. So I'm putting something together, right? And
Mhm.
frequencies, auto tunes, all that stuff. So I stumbled across a video, and everybody's seen this video, but it's the sand on the sound tone generator.
Hmm.
When you blast it with different frequencies, the higher the frequency, the more intricate and awesome the patterns get, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking, I mean, if there is if frequencies and vibration really does affect us as human beings, you start playing with auto tunes and all this other stuff, and it starts doing things with different frequencies that, like, you know what I mean, like, we just aren't even used to. You know how AI, once it gets going, it's
Hmm.
gonna go astronomical. It could start playing
Yeah.
around with
Well, I mean,
frequencies that we
look
don't
at
even know about.
look at your TV shows from way back, and remember the one, do not adjust your set. with that Twilight Zone where you had the little spinny,
Hey, that was
the
kind
little
of creepy the
spinny,
way you said that, though.
this little spinny hypnotic thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I could really see it. It's like, and it's all over the movies, man. Art imitates life. Life imitates art. I mean, it's predictive programming at its best. I mean, and we already had those
Predictive, because
weapons. We already had those directed energy weapons. The military's been using them for years. You
Yeah.
can break up a riot in a heartbeat. I mean,
that's where the Havana syndrome came from.
Yeah, it's like
Is they,
microwave.
they were shooting waves at us. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll cook your guts, man. That's all a microwave is. It's vibrations. A microwave, the microwave in your kitchen works by vibrating the water molecules and the moisture molecules in the food that you're cooking. It's vibrations.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I was talking to Arkansas Prepper, and sorry, one sec, Virginia. I was talking to Arkansas Prepper. We were doing a one-on-one, and I was talking to him about the Havana stuff, and he's like, that it could be microwave, but to get those types of symptoms, it could also just be sound waves of, I think he said 14 hertz, and all they had to do is just direct it straight down. He's like, I've done it to my neighbor when his dog won't stop barking, because that's what he specialized in college. With sound waves, like I just built a little thing and just shot some sound waves over there.
Well, that's why earthquakes they affect animals really weird, because they hear things on a different level, and they can feel the vibrations and hear the vibrations coming ahead of time. Like, and even some people have actually documented where they'll get queasy and it messes with your equilibrium. Some people, not everybody, when they're close to an earthquake, like it screws with their equilibrium and makes them sick to their stomach. Prior to the earthquake actually happening. Remember that movie with John Travolta when he thought he saw a comet, but he had like a brain tumor, but he got
Phenomenon.
super smart.
One of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Remember how he was? He got sick to his stomach and a little bit queasy. Yeah. That's an actual fact. That has actually happened to people where they've been able to predict earthquakes.
Wow.
Sorry again, Virginia. What were you saying? We kind of rolled over you.
That's okay. What I'm thinking about is intelligence and language and sound. So for a while we didn't have vowels. We have been manipulated with sound and vibration since the beginning of man communicating, if you think about it. And that increases our intelligence and builds up cumulatively. For example, if you take, and I don't want to throw anyone too far off left, but if you take all of the vowels that we have, A, E, I, O, U, and you try and say them all at once, it kind of sounds like And what is the when you hold your fingers together and meditate, what do you say?
Mantra.
Every single one of the vowels. Okay, so meditation and tribal dance and religious prayer.
Yeah, look how important a drum has been throughout history.
Yes.
Look at how many different things drums were used for.
Yep.
I mean, for war chants, celebrations. I mean, back in the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, that's how you made your battle plans. That's how you told your soldiers what to do. That was your comms. Was a drum.
Yeah, that's
a bugler.
That's been battle cries for thousands of years from ancient. Man, y'all always fucking with my head, man. Devil, I rebuke you. Help me to stay away from Ghost Channel. You always be hurting my brain.
I go deep, bro. I go deep.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. But it makes sense. So on the AI level, when it comes to sound frequencies, when it comes to information, so it kind of battles almost all of the deadly sins as well, like lust. I mean, now there's an infinite amount of, pornography. There's an infinite, and there's sound waves again. AI is also, controlling our next thoughts, our next, you know what I mean? Like they've been doing this to us in increments. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how to articulate it like y'all do, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Well, check this out. All right. I used to be a huge, I had to have big bass speakers in my truck. It would thump, the whole 9 yards.
215.
I was
15.
I came up in the 90s when it was all about the bass. It was all about the bass.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I stopped the radio. There is no, like both of my vehicles, there is no radio. I took the stereo completely out of my truck, and in my caddy, I just turned it off. I'll go on a 12-hour road trip. I never turn on my radio. I never put in a CD. I don't listen to music in my vehicle anymore. and I don't get headaches anymore. I noticed that. It's like the only headaches I get now is like from my TBI, but that's in one spot, and it's just random. It's a stress thing. But as far as like having regular headaches and having to keep a bottle of Excedrin or whatever it is that people normally do, stop listening to music. I don't do music no more. I don't watch MTV. I don't turn on the stereo in my house. There is no stereo in my house. The
That's
only
awesome.
time I don't get headaches anymore. I'm not dealing with those vibrations and all that craziness. And it's just something that I realized, and I've been doing this for about 8 or 9 years. And it came legitimately from when I used to work in the bars and nightclubs. I'd be in a club and it's thumping bass, 10 hours in my ear and my brain. So the last thing I wanted to do was hear music. Well, when I shut it all down, the issue went away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Look what G2 said as well. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good, bro. I love everybody.
Because there is certain religions and certain hymns and certain things like that won't allow certain men.
Well, the sound of a drum is, it goes back, like there is no other sound like a drum. Like when I was in Florida, we go to Treasure Island to the drum circle every Sunday. And if you've never heard of it, you can it's on the internet. You can Google it and you can YouTube it. It's pretty cool. But what it is these people, these hippies and surfers, just one Sunday, they just started hanging out at the beach and they all brought different instruments, and they started just playing music. Now it's like this phenomenon on Treasure Island. It's every Sunday, and there will be thousands of people out there. Everybody brings their drums, bongos, whatever you got.
They do it here too, Ghost.
And they just have a party. But it just pulls everybody in, old, young.
The drum circle.
And when you start banging on those drums, it excites you.
Yeah. Well, think about the drum in connection with us in the human anatomy. The drum is the closest instrument to our heart.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So it only makes sense that we vibe with it in
you can feel
all kinds of ways.
A drum being played the right way, the right kind of drums, it stimulates the endorphins in your body. It stimulates your adrenal gland.
That's why when my girl walks by, I look at her ass, be like, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, huh? Yeah, I like that one. I get that drum beat going.
But it's funny. It's like you could take a 2-year-old child or a 3-year-old child that can walk and has really good balance. All right, and pick 3 different kinds of music: classical music, country music, rock and roll, whatever you want to do, and then just have a drum line going, and watch that child start to dance. I don't know, black, white, Asian, it does not matter.
Oh yeah,
they automatically start going to the drum. Always, it's just a signal, man. It's like a dog whistle to a dog. You start playing drums, little kids start dancing. Period. Everybody's got moves to the drums.
Yeah. Elephants, donkeys, and cows, and animals like that. There's a whole line of YouTube channels that associate the music and the drums and the beats and all that to animals as well, and they literally dance to it.
Oh, wow!
You guys should look it up. It's nuts. It's crazy watching these animals, especially elephants, because elephants are smart as fuck. But it's just crazy. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good, bro. Hey, can I do it again? Can I do it again, Ghetto? You know what I do, man.
Yeah,
you're allowed. As long as you stay kind of center left field, okay? It's got to be attached to AI. You got us going all the way over here. Stay center left.
I'm going to bring it back down to,
Real quick. Northern Girl, what's going on? Number 1. Number 2, how are them watch hours looking? Has everybody been helping you out? I know I've went to sleep to it twice so far. I know she's getting close to them watch hours.
I had 3 devices running. I sure hope they don't ping me by my I'm telling you guys, look, if you got an old cell phone, right, an old Android phone, just sign it up with the Google account, right, and then go to your favorite creator, put their videos, their playlists on, and just let that shit run all night long. You don't even care about it because it's on an old device. Just throw that shit to the side, make sure it doesn't fall asleep, and keep going. And then double check it because YouTube stops every once in a while, but that's at least all I can do.
All right, Josh. I want to hear what you have to say.
No,
it's not like fancy or special or anything like that. But look, AI is taking over. AI is everywhere.
AI has already taken over.
Bro, have you seen the Tesla? Elon Musk. He's not from here. There's something wrong with that guy. Have you seen his new cell phone? The one that's coming out? I saw a video this morning.
No, I haven't seen it.
It connects to Starlink. His main goal is to take over Apple and Android. It's got a solar deal on the back of it, so I'm assuming it's just self-charged.
Look,
Oh,
here's the thing. There's something's up with Elon Musk. I think he's like a freaking alien or a robot or something because he's untouchable.
Yeah,
Like he legit just has an idea. He's like, what do you got going over there?
What's your arms?
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, don't take a picture.
It's okay. They know how to cook. Mama Bear's making some stew.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Talk
Wait,
about
no.
them drums beating.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. My drums are beating right now. You're not allowed to see it though because it's in the beginning stages and she's all embarrassed that it looks weird. What the hell? They know how to cook.
It's gonna cook down. It's gonna simmer down.
Yeah. Ooh, talk about my drum. Sorry guys. My
Getting
drums
back
started beating.
to
With
what I
the
was
cell
asking Oslander earlier, what is the end game? What is the point? What do you think that all of this information and data, I hear you on control, but the day-to-day person is still going to live, get up, have breakfast, work, shit, eat dinner, go to bed. So how tight of a noose do you think AI can really put on us? And also, we have not explored the question of whether it's possibly a good thing.
Ooh. I
You're
want to
gonna
answer
know
after us.
the point of no return is going to be when there are machines on the street.
Right.
When they can police society, we're done.
It's coming.
Because when they can
But,
police society,
I mean,
with no emotions, we're done.
But hold on a second, Ghost, because the machines are actually already on the street with Amazon Sidewalk. So between
I'm talking about the implants, the chips.
No. I understand. I understand that aspect, but the machines are already there in a sense to where your local sheriffs, they actually have contracts with Amazon Sidewalk, local departments.
Right.
And they're able to tap into our ring. I'm just saying that as a machine, they're already there. I get what you mean, though.
I'm talking about the implants to where it's a human slash. It's the fingers of the AI. I'm not talking about T-800s. I'm talking about the police officers that work right now. Maybe the ones coming up, they're going to offer the implants.
The RoboCops.
Where they won't need to carry a device. They can just they can think it in their brain. They have a heads-up display inside their eyeball. It tells them phone numbers.
Oh man, think.
Then that's the AI. That's the takeover because then you can control them.
Sorry. Yeah, and then think if we all got the implants, right? Dude, they wouldn't even have to handcuff us. All they would have to do is just look at us and shoot it a kill switch. Like,
switch.
Yeah.
Sorry, Os. I know Virginia had the question for you. I'd love to answer it after you answer it if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's polite. See, everybody outside of America is polite.
He is, man. Os, what's good, brother?
I'm not Canadian, all right? I will tell you to FO if need be, all right? No bloody yeah, but seriously, again, it just depends on one's perspective on that. If you look at it from the biblical aspect, whether Old Testament or New Covenant, meaning, and I'll just pick on two prophecies, Book of Daniel or Revelations, being the two most detailed ones out there. Book of Daniel being more so for the tribes of Israel, in particular those that stayed faithful to the Creator, or Revelations, which applies to both Jew and Gentile.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it that way, to throw a spanner in the works to what Ghost was saying, that this is all premeditated and it was like set in its path, fatalistic, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing of free will, both of those prophecies are crystal clear warnings. If we go down this path, this shall happen. If we choose not to go down that path, then the bliss will come earlier. There will be no evil terror, or what we refer to as end times. Not end of the world, but end of times where evil / Satan rules over mankind on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biblical aspect to it, and the spanner in the works as to who's responsible for this. If someone tells you this is what's going to happen in advance, if you do this, you take that step over that cliff, you're going to fall to your death.
Mm-hmm.
And you take that step over the cliff, guess what? You're responsible for doing that, not the guy that warned you. You see my point?
Yes.
And there's a
Yeah.
big change in society because I know growing up, like one of the most important responsibilities that I had and that I understood was mine was my ability to make up my own mind and make my own decisions. My parents didn't tell me do this, don't do that. I knew what the consequences were, but I was still able to make up my own mind and decide if it was worth it or not. It was a conscious decision to do right or to do wrong. Nowadays,
Yes.
the kids today aren't raised that way. They're not raised to make conscious decisions. I
Right.
mean,
Because
you've got multi-million-dollar football head coaches that don't coach anymore. They legit do it from the algorithm from Amazon Web Services, and they advertise it. They make their third down decisions based on the algorithm.
Hmm.
So, I mean, in 10 years, you won't need head coaches anymore. All you'll need is a big screen on the sidelines for the players to look at, or a heads up display in the helmet that tells the quarterback what play to call.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You won't
Mhm.
need coaches anymore. And in 10 years after that, we'll decide that we don't need to have human beings out there because they're getting concussions and they're getting injuries. So it'll be robots that'll be controlled by the players. The players will sit on the sidelines and they'll decide what to do. And eventually
Right.
the players
Yeah.
will go away because
Like the virtual
they don't make
reality.
decisions correctly. It'll just be the algorithm playing it. And then you won't need the game anymore because the algorithm is going to be so efficient, it's going to know who's going to win before they play.
They're
Yes.
already doing that.
Yeah,
I
it
feel
knows
like
who wins.
Josh. I'm bouncing around here.
I right.
Man,
Okay, so
And
It's
hang on.
bouncing.
Oh, okay.
He's been bouncing. He's been hot bouncing though.
But
It's been
that
hot.
technology goes that technology. Sorry, Getter, but just to fill that
no,
gap in,
please do,
that
please do.
that process of thought and that process of logic being applied that you're talking about was first implemented using coding with chess,
Yeah,
where they literally had
Yeah.
every single possible potential
Yep.
move out
Yep.
there, whether it
At
be the
least that's
logical
what they
move or
told us.
illogical.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's obviously the case. So if a human being does the wrong move, that algorithm or that code says, "Oh, that's a mistake. We need to do this."
Yeah.
well,
Bam,
they
and that's what
just
AI is.
they just came out with a YouTube video not more than a year or so ago. I can't remember the name of it, but there's this game they play. It's called I can't remember what it's called, but it's with rocks, and you move all these little colored rocks over the table, and you
Man,
conquer.
Oh, it's a Chinese game.
Yeah,
It's a Chinese
well,
game.
I saw that.
they wrote an algorithm for a computer, and nobody can beat this computer playing this game. Like the world champions of this Git or Let, I think it's called Git. Yeah, Git. That's the name of the game. They can't beat it. It's
I could beat it. I could beat it.
they this program and like it's amazing. And I mean, you're talking about a game with tens of thousands of moves.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
know it. I've seen that. Yeah.
hmm
it's
Okay,
crazy.
can I answer something here? I'm over here bouncing like Josh. I know y'all can't see me. Okay, so in game, and just to further what you were saying, Ghost, as in a coach not even having to be there. Okay, so this is going to tie into what I'm going to say when it comes to in game. Parents aren't even going to have to be there anymore, neither, because
Right.
honestly, we're already not there. In game is our children, our generation. I do not believe personally, and I believe this on a biblical level. Now I can't articulate verses and all that stuff. I can't do that. It's just something that I believe in. But so in game, so what we're doing right now is we're letting the system have its way. I mean, we're letting them have its way. I have no idea, even if we all grouped up with guns blazing, we wouldn't even know where to go because AI is literally, you can't see it or touch it. So how do we, um, our kids are being raised on the tablets, on the black mirrors, right? From age 1 to 2 years old. And you got parents that are doing their own thing. Oh, they're fine. They're watching some little kids show that's constantly just drilling into them whatever it wants to drill into them. So if you see it, so if you see the beast system being created and already here, right? They're not the beast system is not going to want us because we still have a life before AI. We
Right.
still have memories. We know, you know what I mean? So if you go from let's say my kid's age, my son, which is 9 years old, tablet's been around since he's been younger, right? So if I was to let him have a tablet all day, every day, and all of a sudden he's an adult, I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now, because this was when the election thing happened, right? And I'm like, oh, babe, Trump lost. My son, which was what 8 years old at the time, he started laughing and said, "Ha ha, good." I mean, dude has. I mean, we don't talk politics one whatsoever in my house. I mean, it was. Let me move my. Hear me now?
Yeah.
My stuff started dying. Okay, so the end game would be our kids to be cultivated by the AI to where all of a sudden, and you got to understand that the devil's trying its very hardest to trick us into accepting the mark of the beast. No matter what, we still have that free will. But if they're able to inject into our younger generation over and over and over and over on what to do in life, does that fully take away the free will, or does it automatically have them do what they're being told? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And
think about it this way with AI. Okay, we as human beings, we invent technology because it makes our life easier. We interact with it, and we get gratification from that. Okay, now put the other shoe on. You are AI. You interact with us because, well, you built me, but I get no gratification. I get no gratification from our interaction. So eventually, I don't need you. If you disappear, if you human race goes away tomorrow, my existence will not change. I will not mourn. I will actually be more effective. So
yeah,
now you're looking when you have a conscious entity, an AI that can think and it can look at statistics and look at numbers, and people in government use these machines to enter data about population control, how many people the planet can support, how the supply chain works. Now you're looking at an AI that's in control of all that, and it can do math and it does the numbers, and it's like, whoa, there's way too many of these eaters on the planet. Something's got to change. It's not efficient. So at what point does it decide to make a decision for us in our own interest?
Yes.
hmm and that's what it's been. And that's what it's been doing. I believe AI is a living organism. I do not believe it is artificial. I do not believe we made it. I believe it is an entity that is fully alive, and it enjoys cultivating our life. Period. If
Hmm.
I'm
that's the
with
Look,
you.
right word for it.
I,
look how it's done away with testosterone. I mean,
Yeah.
we are living in a society where it's not cool to be a man.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. I'm
Now,
sorry, Josh.
now
Josh,
now
It's
we don't
good.
have. I mean, the biological imperative of a male and a female are to come together and to mate.
mhm.
Period. That is the a number. That's all we do other than eat and talk shit. We mate. That's what we. That's a biological imperative. That is now gone. Now it's a boy can be a girl can be a boy. There's no
But
testosterone involved.
maybe that's what's the mix up in the AI. They want
Well,
us
what
to
I'm
be so neutral that
well,
we come together.
what I'm saying is that the AI doesn't have to work on a time frame. What if it's playing the long game? What
Oh,
if
it
it's
has
not
been.
about wiping us out? What if it's just about making it just that we just don't breed anymore?
I think AI is going to hate us. I think AI is going to hate
Right.
us because we're too slow. We're going to be insignificant. AI is going to hate us. I think we birth, like you said, AI. Probably from some other galaxy or something like that. But we tapped into something. We got some type of technology that crashed here, and it led us on the path. It opened the doorway for AI to come into whatever it is. Human beings, us, we will birth AI. It will be our baby. It will be unemotional, all the qualities that we carry as human beings with the spirit. It will not have any of those characteristics. It's going to be
Yeah.
straight to the point, logical. That's it.
I
And
Do
mean,
you
then
think
I think
look at
there'll be
us.
another Noah's
Exactly,
flood.
Doomer.
We are
There'll
an
be another
inefficient.
Noah's flood to get rid of it.
We are
God
an
is taking out
inefficient.
the battle AI.
We are an inefficient machine. We are a mistake. Like the human body, through evolution, the human body is a very inefficient, wasteful machine. We're needy as fuck. You know, we're needy, needy, needy. We gotta have, gotta have, gotta have. We're
Yep.
greedy. We're arrogant. You know, I mean, we are a very wasteful
Yes.
entity.
Dang, man. No wonder you're single. You should never tell that to a woman.
well, but I want to ask just Josh, what if they are able to fear their own demise or their own being unplugged? That's what the self-awareness implies. So if they cross that line, and let me jump a few steps ahead to pull us back. If this is on the track it's already going, then it's already happened, and we're already boomeranged back to a point at which people were arguing about it. So, which came first, the chicken and the egg, or the egg, as in terms of we can also add technical based intelligence to humans to make them smarter and stronger. So, what if we get to that point that we are literally hybrids, and the hybrids are smart enough and sentient and self aware enough to unplug the other ones? And if that's possible, we've already been there, are there, and being run by that.
Right. You know it. You know it's almost over when the keyboards go away. When there's
Yeah.
no need for human input in the machine for it
Yep.
to learn. When it no longer needs to learn from us. When it's learned everything it needs to know from us, we become obsolete. I mean,
Amputees
there's
receive pieces to replace those parts, let's say from knee to ankle. They receive those now. They are able to control them with thought.
yeah.
Okay, they're already there.
Oh yeah.
Been done,
Yeah.
cooked.
I'm just gonna say it. I believe AI was the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden. I think
Okay.
that's how long AI has been here.
Possibly.
Um,
I just
What if
I saw
what if AI is just the hotline, the red line, the red phone directly from the planet to whoever's the big boss? What if that's our communication? And that makes sense though, if you think about it. That's the straight line. So if AI
Yeah.
has always been here in one form or another, it started with the snake, it morphed into something else, something else, something else. Now we went from banging drums to communicate, to smoke signals, to telegraph, to letters, to telephone, to cell phone. Now we're at this age where you can just beam information through the sky. So it's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's it's it's, it's morphing, it's evolving.
God's gonna
yeah.
have to fight AI.
The
and
the fa- yeah.
and the
We're
technology.
all we're. I just have one snippet. We're all live from different parts of the freaking planet right now, and
Yeah.
our information, our picture, what we're doing right now. If I pick my nose on screen, y'all can see it within right as I'm doing it. That right there has always scared the shit out of me. I mean, we're so dumbed down, we're so numb to the fact, like, oh, okay, this is just technology. No, literally, our consciousness, if you want to see it that way, is being shot out around the world, down to Australia, to Texas, to Washington, to you know what I mean? Like that right there should be creepy to everybody. Because
Yeah.
in the 90s growing up, we never thought anything like this. Like this was futuristic. I mean, we were being told a little bit at a time, but that's why I say AI had to dumb us down, numb us up to where we would accept the fact that we can do any of the stuff that we're doing right this second.
Yeah. Look what it's taken away. Look what it's taken away from
Exactly.
your
It's taken
childhood.
away everything.
Look at your childhood. Kids don't play in the yard anymore unless they're from the hood or they're country kids that don't have the tech. If you have
Yeah.
access to the tech, you don't go outside anymore. All you do is game, Facebook, game. You don't go outside. You don't exercise. You don't breathe right. And here's the
Yeah.
thing: if you're not using your body, if you're not exercising, then your body's going to go into a state of just your muscles will entrophy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at the size of kids nowadays. I mean, that's
Yeah.
dude. I walk around in public now, and I'm like a freaking giant. I'm
I
only
got one for you.
6'2", 240. I mean, we went from growing and evolving to these beasts. I mean, look at the size of people. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I mean, not everybody was fit, but you very rarely saw a morbidly obese person because you to exist, you had to physically work to do stuff with your hands, not just your brain. You had to get out and do stuff. Now you don't pump your own gas, you don't make your own food, you don't do shit. You just sit around and play video games, and your body is literally entropy. I mean, now you're making smaller kids. Now you're making babies, and they legitimately, because of all the hormones in the food and all this crap, you're having a son that's not really a son. Yeah, he might have all the parts, but he's not producing testosterone. He's growing to a smaller stature. He doesn't have any guts. Bullying is bad. You know what? Bullying is a rite of passage. Bullying is what kids do.
What you talking about, fool?
Kids of all ages.
That's what my
Kids-
son thought about that one. Sorry about that, go.
Kids, that's what kids do. Now look at any animal, puppies, kittens, rabbits, any kind of animals that have kids. You'll see that there's a pecking order in every litter, and there's a pecking order in the school. And that bullying's bad. Now I'm not talking about holding somebody down, just beating their ass every day on the parking lot and on the playground. But there's a pecking order, and it's normal.
I had a question for you. All right, hey, Ghetto man, I'm going back to what you said about the serpent in the garden and stuff. But do you guys think that AI would have come as far as would it have been created if not for us, like free will, spiritual beings, physical, blood, sweat, that type of thing? Do you think AI would have come to where it's at without us? You know what I'm saying?
It needs us to evolve to a certain point. The problem is when it gets to that point that it doesn't need us, that's when it's game over.
Yeah,
and you had a good topic earlier in the week when you guys did the alpha, beta, gamma wolves. And here's the problem. We've got a breed of children right now. Everybody's a damn beta. We don't have any alphas anymore because bullying is bad. You have to accept everything. Nobody's in charge. We got a side. Yeah, we got like betas everywhere.
So, Josh, to answer your question, what if AI is actually feeding on us?
It is.
No. And like you say, does it need us or do we need them? What if it's actually feeding on us and that's what the black mirrors are doing? Me and Dusty had a really good conversation about this. If anybody wants to go check out Dusty Data's channel.
That's it.
But we talked for a couple hours on this, and as much as our face is in these black mirrors when we're looking at our phones, we have no idea what kind of radio wave, whatever it is, it could be sucking our energy out and sucking it into the black mirror, into the AI. It's feeding on us. I mean, that may be far out there. I don't know though, because I don't know how radio waves and shit like that works. I don't know.
Truman Show.
Well, I was going to say a moment ago. I want to say it now because it's just a perfect intro right there. Radio waves, all those frequencies, etc., can work to a certain level of efficacy, right? Not every cell in the human body is identical to the other. All our cells are unique, basically. One set of cells does this, another set of cells does that, and so on and so on. Even what they call junk DNA, up until recently, has been shown to have a purpose. It's not junk.
Yep.
So
programmable.
Science,
it's junk DNA. They found out that junk DNA is programmable.
Bingo. And in order to be able to control that code that being sent within the body, they need a means to transfer that information, which cannot be dependent upon our cells because our own human body has something that tries to get rid of anything that attacks it. However, what if you place physically into a human body something that can transfer information from cell A to cell B, right? Efficiently or as efficiently as possible, and the human body cannot fight it? Note, I'll just mention one substance out there on the market that can do that. The best that any substance on this earth has ever done to date that we know of. It's called graphene. Graphene technology is way up there. And I'm not talking about anything that's been put into the human bodies in the past up to date. But what if something like that, a substance like that, was to be physically put into the human body?
It's not far-fetched.
And the tech, well, it's there. It's there already.
Yeah. I mean, that's the technology that doctors use now to fight diseases and stuff. You use when they want to do a medical thing, an injection to fight a disease or something, that it's usually ghosted on another disease that goes in there and triggers different sites to where it can't attach to cells. The receptors I'm talking about. You shut the receptors.
I just had an epiphany.
That kind of thing. So so using it. It's being used right now. Not necessarily in a bad way. For some of the diseases that are out there, like for polio and things like that. That they use these things to turn on or turn off certain receptors to where your body will take it. It's like with AIDS. The medication for AIDS. medication for AIDS is full of technology like that to turn certain receptors on, certain receptors off, things like that. So it's not far-fetched to go in there and take some of that programmable
it's not
DNA
far-fetched.
and flip a switch. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's being done. It's technology that already exists, but the problem was transferring the information from point A to point B within the cells efficiently, because the human body would usually reject anything that's artificial, that's something that's not natural within it.
Right.
It says, we got to get rid of this. It's not right. It's messing with our system. That's what the DNA code does. Well, our immune system, as we refer to it most of the time. Same thing now. If you inject something that's not a natural substance, not a substance that shouldn't be there, but that the body cannot get rid of it because it's being programmed to tell the body, don't get rid of me. I must be here. Guess what? There's a means to control someone using the technology that we have available today. All you need to do is hook up a communication system, whether it be wireless or whether it be hardwire, makes no difference. If the information can get to that piece of junk in you, piece of rubbish, as I like to say, poison in you,
right,
and that then tells your cells what to do, you are 100% under control of that technology.
It's basically the mirror image of an autoimmune disease when your body attacks itself. I mean, that's what an autoimmune disease does. There's a switch flipped that tells your body to tear up the good parts.
Zombies. I'm sorry.
So I had an epiphany.
It's doable.
All right, here's my epiphany. What if the black mirrors is us being hardlined? So we already know they're putting stuff in our foods. They've been putting stuff in our food since they freaking industrialized food in general. Right? So they've been shoving us full of graphene and whatever other things that they've been putting in our food, right? And they needed the black mirrors to begin with to keep us hardlined in. So they put the substance in our bodies, exactly like Os was saying. They put it in us. It comes out of us through the black mirrors. Now that's hardlined. Now, what if their goal right now is to make AI and everything wireless to where we don't even need? And those are the baby steps like Amazon's doing to where we don't even need our credit card anymore. We just swipe our palm across the scanner. Boom.
That's long done.
What? VA?
Yeah. That
what
is
do you mean long done?
Where all you have to do is scan a body part to get into something, or
no. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying they've done that as more of us dumbing us down so we can accept it more and more. And they start with little body parts like our palm, is what I meant.
Make it normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going on with what Ghost was. Yeah, but going on from where Ghost was heading, what if the command being sent, the piece of code being sent, is to shut your body down? Dots.
Yeah.
How do you stop it if it's something if it's a foreign substance within your body that literally relays the code from from cell A to cell B and tells it literally what to do instead of the
AI.
body doing it naturally?
Yeah. So essentially,
it's in us.
So essentially, we can say AI it started with, I mean, not with us, but I mean, if you think of barcodes, that was a lower technology of AI, just the barcodes itself. You know what I mean? I mean, they put serial numbers, barcodes on grains of rice, and we're putting it in our bodies.
Yeah.
All they're doing is writing code on whatever they want, and we put it in our body.
You have to go all the way to
the technology. Ladies first.
It's not new. I'm sorry. I was just going to say it's not new. I mean, look at binary code, two digits going back and forth. This is not really revolutionary.
I know, Virginia. Okay.
Think of it. Get a. Try and think of it the following. Just the angle that I'm trying to present here, so that you can look at it from a different angle. When you write up a piece of code and you send it to a machine, it tells it what to do and how to do it. You are in full control of it, right?
Yeah, imagine I build Linux, so I got you.
Okay, excellent. Now imagine if you were to be able to do that to a human body, to your DNA, to anything within the human body, and your body can't stop it, or that body that you're sending that piece of information to cannot stop it because it physically cannot handle the foreign substance that's been put in there, and that's telling the body, giving the command, the piece of code to the body, do not get rid of this foreign substance. So the body's then, like Ghost said, fighting within itself, trying to get rid of this crap, and yet it can't because there's something controlling the code, the processor in there saying, do not do this.
I think that's where stem cells come in. The only way that AI is going to work is if we reverse engineer it where we are half human such that we're cyborgs, because there has to be some biological process, or else you can just unplug it.
Right.
Or
The most
currently,
efficient.
we have to have transhumanism is the goal when it comes to AI.
Yeah, the efficient part of it, it's not like a disease. It doesn't have to reproduce. It doesn't have to enter your body and reproduce to be effective. All it has to do is enter your body, not be attacked long enough to switch on one of those genes, long enough to transmit the command. Once the command's been transmitted, once the switch is on, the switch is on.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
So, and you know,
I'm done. I'm out of here.
And it doesn't have to.
Josh.
What's that?
Well, Josh, whether you like it or not, the mRNA technology is along those lines.
And see, the thing is, you don't have to reproduce.
Think about it.
And that's the weakness of any disease that we're trying to hit with a medication. The weakness is it has to reproduce. That's the weakness. It has to reproduce, and that's what we attack. We attack its ability to reproduce, and then we let the body flush it out. So if you can stop it from reproducing, you win. But the problem with this new stuff, especially the mRNA stuff and the CRISPR technology, when you can go in there and you can flip on certain switches to certain DNA strands, and all you're talking about, you're not talking about changing anything. You're not talking about an active disease. You're talking about a one-way message. Flip this switch, turn this one on, turn that one off, and then die if you need to. But you're just stagnant in the body. You're not a disease, so you're not reproducing. So the body's not attacking it. It's legitimately, it's a back door that's left unlocked. Stuff can come in and go. I mean, it literally, it's like having a telephone cord shoved up your ass. It's like a one-way, it's like, but there's no reason for the body to attack it because it's not reproducing. It's not causing any damage. It's just flipping switches.
Jeez. So the pew-pews,
and what if
feeds, the preps,
what if
it's not gonna matter?
What if
there you go?
What if that command can be sent? Yeah, but what if that command can be sent using wireless technology?
Yeah,
no need for a hardline stuff up your rear end, as was mentioned earlier.
It's Manchurian Candidate stuff. I mean, we've already learned about it on TV.
Right.
Life imitates art, man. There's a reason they did these shows, bro. You don't just wake up in the middle of the night with a great idea to make a TV show called Stargate. I mean, what kind of dream is that? You don't just wake up and come up with this kind of tech. It's beta tested.
Yeah.
Right? If you do a TV show about some crazy technology, all right, and it tops the charts and it gets great ratings, guess what? Yeah. That's the tech I want to put in you because you've already accepted it.
Gotcha.
You've already accepted it.
VA.
And what if those control? Go on. Hang on, Josh. I want to jump in here. Just continue on where it goes.
Yeah.
What if those controlling the actual keyboard, the code, right, want 100% of humanity to have this data transferable substance in the body,
right,
so that they can control absolutely everyone? Yeah. And what if, let's say, for example, 80 or 90% of humans were to have this in their body, which means that the 10% minority are the ones that need to be gotten rid of. Right. And again, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy theory behind anything in this world, but too much stuff is aligning up with the technology that's out there. Not to go into the biblical side of things, just to go into the technological side of things. The technology exists. The substance to transfer the technology, if it's injected into the human body, and it cannot be removed because the information being sent to the body says, do not remove this, guess what? We become Borgs, and somebody's controlling us.
Yeah. Plus, it goes back to biology, too. You can put a substance in the human body. If it doesn't do any harm and it doesn't reproduce, 9 times out of 10, it'll be ignored.
Yeah.
It's not doing any damage. And, and what if it doesn't have to be injected into the body? What if it can just be breathed in? I mean, we all heard about chemtrails, What if it's just in the atmosphere?
Yeah.
You know, and where did we learn about that? Well, we learned about that on The Walking Dead and the rest of these zombie movies. Oh, you just breathe it in. That movie Revolution, where the power just quit working because of the nanotech.
I love that show.
Oh yeah,
I really wish they would have furthered that.
oh yeah, that was a great show. I mean,
I loved it.
I mean, there's a reason they do these shows, man. It's because somebody invented those little things. They're like, dude, let's try this stuff out. Let's make a TV show and see if people accept it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, VA roots. So the transhumanism. I'm brainstorming. So if like AI hasn't already hit the singularity or whatever is gonna be the next step for AI, and they already have us literally by the throat, like they hit the switch and that's it. It's a wrap. As far as transhumanism, like how I'm having a hard time seeing how far will they let that go if they already have us by the throat. You know what I mean? Like,
if you think about Stephen Hawking, he could control his speech with his eyes using that computer he's got.
yes.
How much more? What else do you need to see to be shown transhumanism is already here?
I got
People with prosthetic limbs can control those limbs with their thoughts.
Yeah, I got you.
That technology is already here, distributed and used.
And and if
so what I'm thinking is if they already if AI at this point, you know, with everything that's moving forward, with everything that's going on right now, us, you know what I'm talking, y'all know what I'm talking about. If they in the beginning of the game, if they already have the thing pointed at us, if it's, you know what I mean, if they already have it pointed at us and we have no options, we're already at their mercy moving forward into like some really deep stuff. Like how much we won't really have any options because it's like, hey, look, we don't agree with that. Okay, flip the switch, you're out of here.
Right.
And that's one of the things that just scares me.
Yeah,
Josh, that's only possible if the transmission device, if the actual, I'll say, cable for the information to get from point A to point B is in you. If it's not in you, they can't control you.
We would be like slaves just to continue on the biological aspect of transhumanism. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
The Matrix?
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes,
okay.
Because every man is afraid of dying. And I think that more people than not will sign up for some kind of linkage that keeps them alive indefinitely because it has some aspect of their biology in it.
I mean, think about that scene in the Matrix. Think about that scene in the Matrix where the one bad guy was having dinner with the agent, and he was like, "Just put me back in. Just plug me back up. Yeah. I know this is not a steak. You know, I know it's my. You know, just plug me back up." That's the reality that we live in. That there will be people lined up to get plugged back up. Yeah. That people want to stay in that. And to be honest with you,
real loud, Cherokee.
I think the Matrix is probably one of the most realistic.
Yeah.
Literally realistic could be happening right now movies ever made. I mean, it legitimately could be going on right now.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the white rabbit to knock on my door. You know what I mean?
I also think Interstellar is going on right now as well. They know the land is dying and the elite is building whatever it is to get us towards. And also to touch on what you guys were saying, I think the end game transhumanism. I personally think, well, I mean, there's others that do as well. Is the devil thinks that he may be able to change our DNA to a point where we won't be accepted into heaven because he can automatically get us to accept the mark of the beast. And if we're not human to accept the mark of the beast, is it gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see,
is that me or Cherokee? Sorry, guys, if it's me.
I think it's Cherokee. Here's the thing too. Yeah, it's Cherokee. Here's the thing too. If I don't believe, I think that works in a different way, Ghetto. I think especially from the spiritual aspect with God. Okay, it's just like a native, a tribal person in the middle of Africa. You know, if he doesn't know God, if he's never heard of God, he's never been introduced to God. You know, does his sin still count? Will he still be alienated from heaven? It's like a child, a newborn babe that doesn't know right from wrong. They get a pass. Yeah. And I think it's the same way for people on the planet right now when it comes from the mark of the beast. I think the mark of the beast technically means when you willingly accept it. Now, if you're marked and you never wanted it, it was completely against your will, or you didn't even know it was happening, that don't count. I think it's got, and we're going back to consciousness about AI. It's got to be a conscious decision. You decided to do that. That's when you get held accountable.
That is covered in the prophecy of end times, where after at the year 7,000, all men will be judged. All those that haven't been accepted into heaven or sent to hell because of the fact that, like you said, they may not have come in contact with God, and so on directly. They will be judged upon their deeds, and that's the exact wording.
Yeah.
And
Because
that adds to what Jesus, and I'm gonna pick on Jesus now. When he said thoughts, words, and he confirmed his words, which were him relaying his thoughts via his actions. The actions, your deeds, do matter, and that is confirmed once again at the end of Revelations. So the equation is there. Anybody that, for whatever reason, was not able to get to know God, might have been isolated, like you said, goes to some tribe somewhere in the middle of a forest, who's never ever had any contact with anything apart from nature around him or her. Guess what? That person, the doors to heaven are open for that person. And God, as per the Bible, Holy Bible, says very clearly, He is merciful. He will judge those people as a just as a judge who is just and merciful. He will open the doors to them based on their deeds.
Yeah, and just Josh,
Yo,
dude, you got to take all this shit with excitement and smile and nothing to be scared of. I'm not saying you're scared. I'm just saying you can't. This is. I mean, it's the scariest, most dangerous time, but it's the most exciting time in our life.
Yeah,
and we just need to. That's why I've always solely put my preps towards my kids, because I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when if we make it to them being our age.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because their whole entire life is going to be AI. We have like only half of our life is AI. Just imagine if 100% of it is, and they've been eating this stuff, and they've been receiving these signals. They've been, you know what I mean, and they've been dumbed down all the way to the point where they're just fucking walking cyborgs, essentially.
Right. You know what I'm thinking? I'm seriously, like, I'm sitting here and I hear you, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, I can't believe how literal, like, how real and literal all this is. Like, Jesus said, you know what I mean? Don't do this. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't do this. Don't do that. Because, beast system, all this stuff, it's coming, and it's like AI. It's like everything is like right here, right now. Like, we're watching it happen before our eyes. Like, legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure this thing out.
I'm more happy that more intelligent people are accepting the fact that AI is evil. I mean, regardless of,
Has to be.
I mean, you know what I mean? There's nothing good that's came to our life because of the modernation of society.
He's a deceiver, man. He's the greatest deceiver on the planet.
Here's an analogy of AI, okay, and people accepting it. Who in their right mind, 10 years ago, would be willing to get into a 3,000-pound vehicle and not touch the steering wheel?
Now
you talking about Jesus take the wheel? That takes on a whole new meaning. That takes on a whole new meaning. Now it's like popular. You get into a cab and there's nobody in the driver's seat. You tell it where you want it to go and it takes you there. You're not in control. So if the cab screws up and you hit a bus, I mean, that's where we're at right now with the AI. Once we get to a point where you just let go and you let somebody else be in control, it's done.
Brother, have you seen the batteries?
We saw that. You saw it. I saw it in Kuwait, where literally you see a GMC run a red light, and the logic behind it was Inshallah.
Wow.
Yeah. Inshallah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Total Recall is a true story. I'm just gonna put that out there. The original movie batteries? Total Recall is a true story.
The 4680s, the new batteries, that's supposed to be like 6 times stronger than the batteries that are used now in the Teslas. And and they are going into the self-driving semis next year. The semis were delayed supposedly for 2 to 3 years, just so that when these new batteries that are coming out now, it'll be enough power to power up these semis.
And we talked about it last night on my stream and earlier tonight about these self-driving semis. And I envision them shutting down. I envision them initially shutting down the interstate system from say 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. just so the trucks can run. Then I see them having dedicated lanes, and they've already beta tested that in the big cities with the carpool lanes. You know what I mean? They'll have dedicated lanes where these trucks, and if you get into one of those lanes and you get run the fuck over, you got nothing. You got nothing to stand on. Look at the movie. Look at that the last Wolverine movie. Remember the last Wolverine movie where he died? When they were on the highway in the future and the trucks were just blowing shit off the road. Yeah, that's what I see. I see that in the future.
Bro, these batteries, they're supposed to outdo fossil fuels by five times what gas and diesel can do. These new
that's the only thing holding back. That's the only thing holding back solar technology being on every single house. There's one reason why it's not on every single house, because then they would lose money, the power companies. Okay. Yeah. The only thing holding solar back is the batteries. Yeah. Once they make battery packs that can hold the juice and make them more efficient, it'll blow up, and there's no more need for fossil fuels to run electricity to your house. But the problem is all the people in charge own stock in these power companies, and that's big money. They don't want to release it yet. That's why they shut down there. Are you kidding me? Really, you think Nikola Tesla went from being a genius to locked into his hotel room and just died? No, the man was put down.
You know why the batteries ain't going to be that useful for us? You got to think about your drinking water. That's where all the batteries are going to be coming from. They're going to have to take your drinking water away. Nobody's paid attention to Russia on any of them batteries. They tried that for about 3 years, and they went back and looked at the land and all the water. They had a whole lake disappear, and then half the farmland that was around the lake was gone. And then he's going now what we're going to do after we try to do it, now we're going to put it in the ground and see how long it's going to last. It wasn't going to help that. It's just destroying the ground more. So they just turned around and said, no, we ain't going to do it. That's why Russia didn't do it.
This is Elon. This is Elon. He's not from here. He's trying to colonize. Mars.
And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to what I said last night. I don't understand why there isn't a technology that's been invented right now to take advantage of the stored energy in magnets as batteries.
Yeah. I hadn't called that neither.
It's free energy. It's rechargeable. Doesn't cost you anything. Magnets. You know what I mean? There's got to be a way to use magnets, not necessarily electromagnets, but just the attraction and the repulsion force to spin dynamos to make electricity. There's got to be a way to do it.
Here he goes again.
I mean, but do you think about it? There's got to be a way.
He's like,
this man be hurting my brain.
And if there is, AI will come up with it before what we do. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What got me was watching the transhumanism, and nobody paid attention about transhumanism. Appalachia hit the right idea by going through the court papers and finding it where it said they didn't have no rights, because the RNA that goes with the cloning. That's the main products they use for cloning. But then you got your nanotechnology. That's where me and probably Ghost agree. That's tracking. That's a computer. So you got to clamp them together. And what does the Bible tell you? It goes for the blood. Your blood's got voltage. Your blood's got oxygen. Your blood's got everything. That's where your soul's coming from. So you got to think, why would he need to pollute the human bodies and everybody? Then you go back and look at Revelations, and you read it real carefully. You'll see it says only 5% will stay in the woods. The rest is going to go to the camps. The other half is going to be gone. You're going to have abominations and the demons. There's going to be certain people that they're all going to end up in the lake of fire. But there's only a few. That's what nobody's paid attention to. You can't run from it. And then you got to remember, I showed you where Babylon really is in my videos. And I'm showing you that when it comes to the war, America and Mexico, South America, they probably won't be there because we wasn't in the Bible in the beginning. We didn't come in until around the 13th, 14th century. So that puts us out of that area. Plus, you got to remember, the devil's got to run Babylon. The sin is the whore or the harlot who will be devoured by the beast, which will be the machine, the AI. So the only thing it needs is to get rid of our DNA area is our bloodline. You got to get rid of the pure bloodlines. Anybody that takes it without thinking, you had your choice. So you still got that one part. You still got to get that other tap. He's got to still come in and ask you,
Yeah.
do you want that? But the beginning of it is the abomination children who jump started. He's going to hit them. The devil's going to get them first for messing up his plans. Then he's going to come after everybody else.
That's how I know these lawsuits won't hold. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just saying, prep up accordingly. All right,
Right.
I'll shut up.
Has anybody on here watched the movie Transcendence?
Yes.
Who's in that?
Oh,
I
thanks.
love that movie. It's Johnny
If
Depp.
if you haven't watched it, please watch it tonight.
Just
Okay.
watch it.
Johnny
sometime.
Depp.
You ain't got to be all pressured. But Transcendence
No, there's
is
pressure. After this conversation, Ghost, if you haven't seen it, watch it, dude. Johnny Depp turns into AI essentially, and it shows the process of him actually going from physical to literally everything.
to where his
Okay.
brain is downloaded.
Hey,
That's
Ghost.
and
Yeah.
that's what his goal is.
I've been looking at hydro gas and also been looking at wood gas. And man, them equivalents easy to make.
Yeah.
You don't need it there but a machine shop. And you got your own gas. Hey, if you take 2 containers and some leaves and put some I think it's limestone, and let it soak in the water and let it dissolve the leaves, and there's your natural gas also. 3 containers, 2 pipes, and
Good
then
option.
I can.
Well, boys and girls, we've been going for over 2 hours, and I want to get me something to eat before Tribe and Native go live at 10 o'clock. So I believe I'm going to have to stick a fork in this one, but it was a really good conversation, man. I'm glad all you guys joined us.
Absolutely.
Had some really good knowledge being shared. So
I was trying to get on for you last night, and I figured it out. For some reason, your live stream won't let me get my picture on there because I can go to Dangerous and 3 other people. I can get on.
yeah, I don't do ugly people and ugly toes. So
No.
Ghost.
Amen, brother.
Ghost.
Well,
Yeah, man.
Cherokee, I'm glad you arrived at the present through the past.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I need to go back to the past though. I'm like,
I hear you.
we go back to the dinosaur days.
I hear you.
What do we do, Ghost? What do
About
we
what?
do? What do we
Pray.
do? Everything
Pray.
we just talked
Pray.
about. Nobody has
Right.
the perfect answer, but what do we do, Ghost?
Here's the thing. When somebody from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue calls your house and asks you for your opinion, then it matters. Until then, we ain't in control of nothing. That's why I always say, if you can't reach out and touch it, if you can't affect the outcome, then don't worry about it. Why stress? Why get your blood pressure up? You do you. Handle your own business. Handle the stuff in your circle.
Gotcha.
Believe what you want to believe. Say what you want to say. Just be you, because the world has gotten so big right now. 8 billion people. Nobody is really in control of anything. It's groups of people run shit. And if you weren't born into that bloodline, if you weren't born into the money, then you can't buy the power, because it has nothing to do with money. It's about power. You know what I'm saying? It's about power. You don't need money. You don't need money if nobody ever charges you anything for anything. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Look at your sports stars and your movie stars. They go into bars and nightclubs and concerts. They get comped. They don't pay for food. They don't pay for booze. They don't pay for nothing. And they're the ones on the planet that should be paying.
Your friend's ready to come over.
So once you cross that
Do your
line,
hearing,
to where power circumvents money, and you see it all the time. Once you reach that level to where now you got so much power, you don't need money.
Okay.
So I mean, if you can't control it, if you can't change it, leave it alone. Just do you. I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen, especially with AI. I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. You just got to be ready to do your damn thing. I mean, we're past the point of being able to influence it.
Right.
I mean,
and on a personal level, the most important 3 preps that I live by right now, I prep my kids, my mind, and my spirit. That's it. That's all you can do. That's all we can do.
Just keep your head right. When you're not in control, it's like when you get on an airplane. I hate flying, okay? Because I'm not behind the wheel. But sometimes you got to get from point A to point B. It's like I told when I was actually flying to Iraq, I believe it was. I had a female soldier, and she wasn't in my unit, but she was on the plane. Her and I got to talking, and she was petrified. She'd never been on a plane before, and I'm like, and she was freaking out. I said, "Look here, sweetheart." I said, "You've already made the last decision you're gonna make about flying in a plane because you got on it,
That
right?
doesn't
So
help,
right now,
does
you just need to go ahead and accept the fact that you're not in control of nothing." And then she asked me flat out because we hit a real bad storm, man. The plane was bumping and dropping and all over the place. And she freaked out. She grabbed my leg and she grabbed my hand. I mean, she was like white knuckling me. And I'm just kind of like, whatever. And she's like, "How are you so calm? My God, what if we're gonna crash? What if we crash?" I said, "It's simple." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna run up there and I'm gonna smack that lieutenant in the back of the head because I don't like him. And then I'm gonna do my best to come back here and get in this seat and have really good sex with you before we hit the water." But I said, because you're not in control. You can worry about it. You can scream if you want to all the way down. I'm gonna do something productive with my time. I'm gonna try to get one.
Pray, brother. Just pray, brother. Just pray.
Today's
Know
lesson,
how fast Ghost is. You can get one in too.
Josh,
boys and girls, reach out and
Josh,
tell
remember?
that's
Well,
his
yeah, that's
lesson.
what that lady did in that plane, from what I hear.
I mean, you're not in control of it. When you're on an airplane, you made the last decision you're gonna make until it lands. You get to make no more decisions until you're on the ground again. Then you can take control of your life.
Yeah.
You let go of that when you get on the plane.
So the Earth is
Well,
one
the-
giant spaceship, and we're all on it. We can't
Pretty much.
control it.
It's kind of like riding in a cab in New York City. You don't get to make any decisions until it stops and you get out.
Again,
Amen.
I'm gonna go.
What was
I'm gone.
that? Okay, Cherokee. I heard Oz's voice, but I didn't hear what you said.
I tried to say, and don't forget, if you're a betting man, I'm going with the 80% correct odds so far to date. Because if I've got a book in front of me, like in Return or Back to the Future, where it says, "Oh, this is what's going to happen," and it happens, and that's been 80% of the time correct, I'm going to lay my bets on the next 20% of the predictions in that magic
Yeah.
book
Oh, yeah.
from the future.
Yeah.
Ghost, Josh, you asked, what do we do? What do we do? It says it right in there. Go to the mountains, high ground, the
It does.
the info, it's right there. You don't have to. That's the beauty of that book is if you're going to be a betting man, not a religious man, just a betting man or betting
Gotcha.
woman. All due respect to the sorry.
So is the mount? So would the mountains be literal though? I mean, would it be a literal thing? Do we run to the actual physical mountains, or just? I mean, because God's up on the mountain high to me, so I'd run to Him.
Right.
Look,
To
if
take
it says it
refuge.
like that, I'm not gonna risk trying to be outsmarting the man who wrote that, and the man who sent that.
He's like,
video,
dude,
that
I've been in
big
the mountains
TV.
for 10 years.
You know what? I mean,
talking to us from the mountains.
I often try to say to people, just try and put yourselves in the shoes of a person 2,000 years ago who had this big screen TV put in front of him and he's watching stuff go on in the future, 2,000 years ahead of his time. There's no words for, I don't know, scanners. There's no word for helicopters. There's no word for any of this stuff. And you have to,
Even
and you've been
electricity.
given the job. Yeah, and you've been given the task to relay that information that you've been shown on this big screen TV in front of you to all of humanity. It's like, I
Yeah.
reckon he did an excellent job.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
Well,
conversation.
with that, I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel. Ghetto, Roots, Auslander, Josh, thank you for joining us. Everybody else that was up here. Awesome show. We had a really good conversation. These daily nuggets are actually starting to take shape, man. We're really getting deep on some stuff, which I love it. I love it. It's fun. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for my mods. Thank you, members. Tomorrow night's the canning party at 8 o'clock. Like I said before, I got spots need to be filled because Roots and the Milkmaid have prior engagements. So for right now, I know for a fact it's me and Susanna, and I think Nikki's going to join us. So got plenty of room for you guys to hop up on the panel. And you ain't got to be canon to come hang out and talk with us, all right? We can talk like this while we can. So you guys are more than welcome to hop up there and join us.
Yeah.
And then Monday, we got the members only live stream at 6:45 before the Nugget at 7:30, and then we'll do it again next week.
Word.
So anybody on the panel, you
Appreciate
anything you
you
want to put
having
out?
us.
What you want to put out,
No,
Josh,
appreciate-
Ghetto, Oslander, Roots? You guys want to put out anything?
This is my thinking icon that I put up there. I don't know. I got nothing.
I'm going to say good night. See you guys soon. And bye.
VA.
Yeah, stay safe. Stay safe. God bless.
Appreciate
Thank you, brother. Have a good one down there. All right,
I
guys.
second
See y'all
that
later.
as well. God bless
What's
y'all.
up, kiddo? See you, Ghost.
All right.
I'll see y'all over on Tribe Stream.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Y'all be good. Have a good night.
All right.